yardage. Line of scrimmage is the 9. Rush coming. Jackson, dump off. Catch is made by Likely. And the ball jarred loose. Steelers jump on top of it.
Welcome back to 5-Star Matchup. If you appreciate the hustle, pause this video right now and find us at patreon.com/5SMU, where you can buy us some orange slices and pretzel rods for just $4 a month. That's $1 an episode. Do it now. Well, it's finally upon us, folks. AFC North football. And what better way to kick things off than a matchup with our most powerful rival? It's Ravens and Steelers. Need I say more? Out trots perennial MVP favorite Lamar Jackson, who is almost unequivocally terrible against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Say whatever you want about Mike Tomlin and Terrell Austin, but they've got his number when no one else in the league seems to. And the boys in white are getting this one started with a cut outside for King Henry, who coughs it up like a mama raven feeding her young. Area 51 forces it, and Deshaun Elliott falls on it for the early game changer. Gotta capitalize, though. Steelers get it started with a play-action pass to Naj, involving the backs in the run game was huge today, 9 catches total for him, followed by a tote up the gut for the first, and Russell has already got his eyes dead set on the fabled Acrisure end zone. He completes a short one to George, followed by another slashing, gashing run for the effervescent Naj. Please tell me again that he looks like he's running in quicksand, and the Steelers find themselves donning their black and gold bolo ties as they enter the business zone. Unfortunately, the pressure flushes Russ, and he can find no one on third, but that's okay because there's nothing more automatic than the Boz, who you already know is... Steelers hop on top, 3-0. Back on offense now, and the Ravens must be wondering why in the hell they are the best offense in the league against 30 other teams, but can't even get off the runway against the fabled Steel Curtain. Little flip outside to Justice, but on second it's liberty for all. Holding knocks this drive offline, and on third and forever, Lamar lobs a prayer to some guy named Deontay, and of course it falls harmlessly to the ground. Back to General Carrington's men now with a chance to expand their lead. And nothing to say here except I gotta point out Art Smith, the madman, putting a wide receiver at fullback. Go off, you mustachioed king. Another Ravens penalty makes it third and a measly 1, but the General isn't just about saving you money on your car insurance, he's about slinging that deep every chance he gets, and even maybe when it's not the best play. Love Russ's aggression so far, but this is one of those where you just gotta convert. Sparring off to a much better start than that Mike Tyson and Jake Paul atrocity, am I right? Back to Action Jackson, and he's rolling and slinging, and is it a big play? Likely. He hits his man Isaiah. Is he the Ravens' better tight end these days? And he gallops downfield for the biggest play of the game so far. Credit where it's due, this is a beautifully designed play that works. But will it lead to points? Determined to force a dunk on him moment for the freshly acquired Deontay, Lamar chucks it deep for him again, and as we've seen over the years, it's always an adventure. Personally, I think this was a hard ball to grab, but then again, I've never had as much difficulty grabbing balls as DJ does. What? Next play, Lamar just wings a duck that would make Lainey Wilson's boyfriend proud, and it bounces incomplete. Would you look at this intimate dinner date between Flowers and Porter, by the way? Looks like there's some chemistry there with how close they're sitting. Of course, the consolation is automatic with the GOAT, and...
the most accurate kicker in NFL history. And the kick, no good.
Ping! The king has fallen. Tucker yanks a 47-yarder as Danny Smith's Haitian voodoo magic continues to course through our collective veins like that time Papa Shango cursed the Ultimate Warrior. Steelers stay in front. Hey, shout out to the Goodyear blimp, by the way. Did you know there are literally only like 25 blimps left in the world right now? Speaking of airheads, Jay Warren scrambles for 6 of 7. Russ falls forward for a big bucket of nothing, and the Steelers decide to again recklessly go for it on 4th early in the game, and it goes poorly. And it's right back to the Edgar Allan Poe boys with great field position. Was a pretty good day overall for the precocious neophyte Nick Herbig, but here he gets cooked on a little option play when the best in the biz yanks it and dashes for an easy first. Gotta come under control, my brother. Worry not though, for Jackson's man falls down on first, goes nowhere on second, and great stick by the revengering PQ, and on third, Jackson waits, bakes his patented chocolate swirl bunt cake, and wings a quacker that's swatted out of the sky by the dean of swats and rejections. It's right back to the GOAT with another chance to tie. Surely he can't miss 2.
Tucker. The struggles are real.
Bah. Tucker yanks another one. If you're wondering the last time he missed a kick against the Steelers, the Killer Bees were fully intact in 2017. And the second to last time he missed against the Steelers, Byron Leftwich started the game for the Steelers. Unfortunately, the Steelers are clearly in no mood to capitalize, and they go backwards with a run for nothing, followed by a sack for a lot. This drive is dead on arrival. Steelers blowing way too many chances in this one. Will it bite them? Into the second now, and Ravens get moving with a catch and run for Zay, and sure, flowers are nice, but I prefer an edible arrangement. And here it's Peasy the Younger with a chocolate-covered banana of a PBU. Man, you love to see a young kid responding to possibly his worst game as a pro, with possibly his best yet. Nothing but blue skies ahead for Joey Jr. Godzilla Hayward swats another one on third, and the Ravens can do no right on offense today. Oh, would you look at the Ron Earhart of it all? Bam Morris catches this one behind Dermontti Dawson. Najee Harris catches and follows the beastly Sayamalu, Frazier, and McCormick for a beauty of a screen pass. Love, love, love Art Smith for getting these super athletic linemen on the move. A couple plays later, Russ finds the loneliest Muth man standing all alone, and he falls forward for another excruciatingly short of the six gainer, but on 3rd and 1, it's vintage Wilson. He takes a play out of the Kenny playbook by spinning, but unlike Pickett, he's winning with a dart to Georgie Porgy for a very nifty first on the good side of the 50. Steelers in business. Najee rips another great run, but what else is new? Broderick Jones draws the personal foul for going a bit too hard. Wonder what was said, because it doesn't look like he did much. And on 3rd and 4, the Steelers line collapses like the Berlin Wall, and down goes Wilson. Worry not though, because Tomlin is cracking the hyperbaric chamber and out trots the Wizard, who doesn't even need magic to drill this 52-yard. Steelers double their measly lead from 3 to 6. Sloppy, sloppy, sloppy Ravens get going with a run for the king, but a penalty knocks them back. But Andrews wiggles free for a gainer to set up a convertible third, which they again make harder on themselves with a penalty. And on 3rd and forever, Lamar hucks a broken-winged flapper bouncing somewhere near the Allegheny, and they are absolutely begging the Steelers to build a bigger lead. Although, as is written, these teams are magnetically linked and incapable of pulling more than 6 points away from each other. Wilson goes down on 1st, and they settle for a consolation couple on 3rd, and it's right back over to the best offense in the league with a bagel still on the board. On 1st and 10, deep in their own zone, it's the eater of worlds, Isaiah Quiet Milk, flying in to take down Lamar Jackson, but wait, there's laundry on the field! I knew something had to be up for Isaiah to make a play. Just kidding! Lamar finds a hole in the zone to hit Bateman, Queen tries to rock it loose to no avail, and you can just feel the Ravens stealing a 7-6 lead before the half, can't you? Well, Derrick Henry has been mostly invisible, but the best are always going to break one eventually, and here's his play of the day. He bursts through the middle like a hot knife through butter, but thankfully the Mink Man is there to make a shoestring score-saving tackle. Still though, the Ravens are officially putting on their purple ascots as they near the business zone. Steelers like to go with the whole put no one near Isaiah coverage, which isn't likely to work, and Baltimore is suddenly beating on the floorboards like the telltale heart. Pair of runs by Henry scoots him to the goal line and then over, and the Ravens do exactly what you'd expect, grab a 1-point lead headed into half after getting absolutely dominated. Yuck. Just the matter of the 1 minute 16 though, and if I've learned anything about Russ, it's that he's not going quietly. He picks a pair of Pickens tosses for a first, and the Steelers are on the move. Wait. Gotta take a look at this one, and fuck. George is amazing and all, but if there's one thing we've seen that he could use work on, it's these toe taps. This one almost looks like he tries to stick his foot out further, and it gets called back as incomplete. Wilson scrambles close to the sticks, but he's short. The Ravens wisely take a timeout to steal another possession before the break. Starting deep in their own zone, Jackson gets them started with a flip out to Likely, and whoops! Yet again, it's the Queen's Gambit with a stanky yank and recovery. Just a tremendous play in the flow of this game, giving the Steelers the chance to reestablish the lead just before half. As a Steelers fan, you love to see it, but from the Ravens' perspective, what are you doing? This super conservative play ain't going anywhere, and you're starting at the 9. I don't get it. Just play for the half. Losers weepers, though. Wilson scrambles for nothing, but a D holding gives him a first, followed by completion to the Muth man, who wasn't involved nearly enough today. But on 3rd, Russ lobs one to Pickens, who has a chance, but can't pull it in. Good D by the Ravens, and man, are the Steelers absolutely blowing chances. Whatever though, because for the 3rd time tonight, we are reminded that number 9 is absolutely... And we head in for orange slices and pretzel rods, with the Steelers leading by a pair. If you're watching this, I already know you like our show, so why not make it official? Sign up for our Patreon and get access to the full uncut show with no ads, exclusive content, and most awesomely, our very lively Discord server full of Steelers maniacs just like yourself. It's truly a great time and an awesome community, and we'd love to have you. Patreon.com/5SMU. Do it now. Now roll the game. Steelers get started with a run for nothing, but again, my favorite little play action pass to the back. This time it's everyone's favorite Chicken McNugget, and he's dunking himself in the sweet and sour embrace of a first down. As if my football boner wasn't already standing taller than the Freedom Tower, it's the long-awaited debut of the Strawberry Fields package. Steelers run the fake toss with their uber-athletic quarterback of the future, yes, I'm troll baiting, and he grabs a silky smooth gain up the middle. As I've been saying, he is too good at this to not use it occasionally. It's just unstoppable. Warren comes up short after a nice wrap tackle on third, and it's time once again to welcome with open arms the ice-blooded, brass-balled kicker with the heart of gold, Christopher Lynn Boswell, who is perfect in every way, and we love him, and no, you can't have him, and yes, he's officially better than Justin Tucker now. I will not hear any argument to the contrary. Ravens give another increasingly rare carry to Henry, and he goes for a handful, but it's no dice when they try it twice, and oops! Forget to block the best defensive player in the league, and TJ absolutely clobbers the king to topple him in the backfield. Boom goes the Wisconsin Dynamite. 3rd and 6 though, Jackson fades and flips to the galloping Andrews, who always seems to have a half step on the Mink Man for the crucial first down. Ravens receivers and drop passes against the Steelers. Name a more iconic duo. Mink Man said, "How'd you like my pursuit angle on that one, nerd?" Henry lumbers for another conversion, and the Ravens drive continues. 2nd and 4, toss for Henry goes nowhere, but it's right at the revengering Patrick Queen, and 1st and 10, Jackson and Watt again go to war. Are these two just made for each other or what? But Lamar dumps it just before he goes to the ground, and it's more of the same on 2nd. Please don't tell me the Steelers pass rush had no impact on this game just because sacks didn't happen. Watch the game, not the box score. And this one falls incomplete on 3rd, and it's over to Tucker, who once, twice, 3 times a lady. He finally drills one, and the Ravens close the lead back down to a deuce. Oh, please, Mr. Rodney Harrison, will you tell me again how you've watched this man play football this year and you think he looks like he's running in quicksand? Fuck! 2nd and 16, Russ hits George, and what? This play still looks so weird to me because it's like you kept expecting someone else to be there and they just weren't. It almost looked to me like George was surprised at the space, but I'll take it. A couple plays later, it might be 2nd and 7, but as you know, the electric meatball is nuclear powered and actually offsets its own carbon footprint, and the Steelers grab another first. A couple plays later though, it's Big Broad with another flag drawn, and while I like the kid and think he's talented, I have to say the penalties are wearing my patience thin at this point. I'm not trying to be negative, but I honestly cannot remember a lineman drawing this many negative plays in a season before, and I watched Kendrick Green start at center for a year. That's saying something. 2nd and 15 in Houston, we don't have a problem. Russ ignites the boosters and fires a moonball to the sky and back, down into the waiting arms of his number one man, the curious one, who this time dots the I and flips the field. I said it last week, but I'll say it again. There is just something about Russ's balls that I can't get off my mind. I mean, the way he plays with the ball placement. I mean, the way he sort of drops. Naj gets stuffed, and on 3rd we are suddenly reminded of the hypothetical one Van, who can't squeeze it, would have been short anyway. And honestly, the only thing better than 4 field goals is 5. And f it, roll the track. Steelers back in front by a very Ravens Steelers score of 15-10. Henry goes next to nowhere on 2 straight. The story of the game was the Steelers' stout D, make no mistake. And on 3rd, the sloppy Harbaugh-coached Ravens flinch and make it longer. And on 3rd, Jackson runs and runs but can find no one open. What are these receivers, running in quicksand? And TJ chases him down for the stat sheet padding coverage sack. Into the 4th and final stanza now, and it's over to the Steelers. And do they feel like building a lead? No? Okay. Nice conversion right at the sticks here on a very trusting throw from the Rustler, and the Steelers are again at least kinda sorta moving it. And whop! Slippery little scamper up the gut for the Polynesian pinball, and I really love the way the Steelers' backfield is affecting games. Doesn't look gaudy on paper, but trust me, it's working. 1st and 10, Wilson bobbles the snap, doesn't panic, looks off the backer and fires his most decisive throw of the day to the wild elephant himself, who snares it and stampedes into the business zone. Now this was my favorite play of the day for the Steelers offense. I continue to be enamored with the potential of Mount Washington, and I'll tell you what, I think Arthur Smith is too. Huge play to get the Steelers back in striking range. Whop! Hey, Rodney Harrison, is the quicksand in the room with us right now? Naj plows through half of Maryland for another first, and on second, the coverage is perfect. But on third and goal, it's vintage Wilson. He evades the pressure, buys time, and lobs his worst throw as a Steeler so far. I know a lot of people got on Mount Washington for not making a better play on the ball, but it was behind him, and that's besides the point. This is just a way too idealistic of a throw by a clearly frustrated quarterback who desperately wanted to put up a touchdown. I get it, Russ, but live to fight another day. All right, cool. Yeah, totally cool. Henry scoops this one off the turf, but another messy penalty by the Ravens' hapless offense knocks him back, and that sets up our
5-star
play of the game.
Hard in there. Jackson, deep drop, timing route, drops it in the bucket, caught by Hill. Steelers fighting for the football, they come away with it.
I guess it doesn't matter if it's Russell or Peyton. Apparently it's guaranteed that a Wilson will make the biggest play of the game for the Pittsburgh Steelers these days. This is just an incredible interception by a rookie linebacker who had to not only catch up in coverage, but actually yank it out of the back's arms before they go to the ground. Just a shockingly great play by the first-year man who continues to show unbelievable potential. Now the Steelers just need to put up a score and lock it down. Another workman-like carry for the effervescent Najman gets him moving and gets the clock ticking now near 8. But on second, he gets chopped down like a cherry tree in the backfield, but who really cares when you've got the largest man in the world running down the seam? Another masterful vet play by General Carrington here, who looks off the backer and safety, and fires another rope to Mount Washington to flip the field. This pair, just for the stop running the toss crowd, gets a first, and the Steelers are perfectly executing a 4-minute drill. Just keep that clock mowing. Ticking near 4, though, Art flies too close to the sun with a toss for a loss to Calvin, setting up a 3rd and long. That's very nearly an incredible touchdown for George, but come on, you already know this isn't going any other way. Out trots the second longest tenured Steeler and the best kicker in franchise history.
Boswell. He's got it.
And it was 50 yards if it was a foot. Yet another legendary day for the Steelers kicker, who has had plenty of them in his illustrious career. Over to Action Jackson, and he buys seconds, minutes, and hours till he finds his man Zay Flowers wide the fuck open for a doink off his chest. It really is incredible that the Ravens receivers seemingly do this every single game against the Steelers. How? 3rd and 10 though, Jackson's gotta have it, and get it he does with one of his only completions to a receiver on this day. Jackson hits likely for another, and you already know how this is going to go, don't you? It's Steelers versus Ravens, just to let it happen. Time ticking now under 90 seconds, Lamar gets him moving, and here he fires a rope down the sideline to Nelson Aguilar, who mosses Dante Don't Call Me Deontay for a dagger of a first down, which, again, gets called back. 3rd and 9, and undeterred, the presumed MVP buys time and hits Justice Hill, who follows a block and scampers for a back-breaking gainer. Time ticking near a minute, Jackson faces a 2nd and 2, and he patiently waits and fires to a wide-open Zay Flowers, who may or may not have obviously pushed off. And this time he doesn't try to catch it with his face mask. Ravens pull closer, but still need the 2. Mike steals a look at the formation, calls time, and we line up for the deciding play.
Jackson, keeping it. Jackson, fake. Jackson tosses. Incomplete.
Well, I'm not sure exactly what in the hell that was supposed to be for the Ravens, but I'm not exactly in the mood to care. Joey Jr. continues to own Lamar Jackson, and he lassos him down to force a harmless flip into nothingness, and I can't tell you enough how proud I am of young number 24 for responding to a truly awful game with a truly excellent one. I don't think a single pass was completed with him in coverage today, and that does not go unnoticed by yours truly. Just a first down will do it, and the Steelers obviously get started with a run into a brick wall to force a timeout. And on 2nd and long with the Steelers up by 2 and a minute and 2 on the clock, it's number 2, that man we call Strawberry. Justin fakes and yanks, and there's nothing but green grass for the uber athletic quarterback who slides down short of the sticks. Justin, what? Are you fucking serious? Will these teams ever just put the other one away? 3rd and 1, Steelers line up with their traditional I formation, but think better of it, calling a timeout to put back in the dude and the deuce, and why not? Give them something else to think about. And this one's for the North. Najee plows forward to secure the 8th victory in 9 tries against the hated Baltimore Ravens, and say it with me, your Pittsburgh Steelers are 8-2. Are you fucking kidding me? At this point, I'm not even sure I can say I'm surprised anymore. The 2024 Pittsburgh Steelers are flat out good. They've won 5 in a row and 8 of 10 with 2 different quarterbacks, an efficient offense, and a superpowered defense that has been desperately waiting for a chance these last few years. While scoreboard watchers will see that the Steelers didn't put up a touchdown today, and yes, I agree that it was frustrating, I also have to point out that they won time of possession 36 minutes to 24 against a team famous for pounding the rock. Ultimately, their offense matched what had been the most high-powered unit in the league prior to today, and their defense and special teams again made game-changing plays, while Baltimore made sloppy mistake after sloppy mistake all day long. Some may call this an ugly win, but I call it a beautiful one. There's just nothing in the world like beating your #1 rivals by 2 points to take a 2-game lead in the division. Nothing. This was yet another classic entry into the best rivalry in the sport, and I am beyond hyped about the way the Steelers continue to look now 10 games into the season. After years and years of the same old 9 and 10 wins, at 8 and 2, I think you've got to start thinking about altering your expectations for this now cooking Steelers team. Why can't they win the division? Why can't they get the 1st or 2nd seed? To get 13 wins, they'd need to go 5 and 2 the rest of the way. Doesn't seem so crazy, does it? Well, first things first, we got a short week and a trip into Brownstown on Thursday. Get to 9 and 2, and then we'll talk. Here we go. If you're still here, I know you love the show, so why not head over to Patreon and support us for just $4 a month? We don't make anything off this main show, so we really appreciate the help for just $1 a week. Do it now!